Just getting set up here. So just got the Substack studio all ready, and now we're on to our D camera, or TikTok camera. So just getting this all set up. We'll be starting very shortly. Okay, TikTok is on, and we are almost ready to start the show. All right, thanks for the likes on TikTok already. I love it. And we are off to the races. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is The Dream is True with MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, coming at you. This is episode 29 of the show, and I am so excited to be doing this. My journey as a writer has morphed into so much more. Now I'm here weekly with you on this live show, also on Spotify as a podcast after the broadcast, and also the whole video gets posted to my YouTube channel. So how cool is that? Episode 29 of The Dream is True. Thank you so much for all the likes. And thank you so much for all the gifts over on TikTok and all the subscribers over on Substack. I am going to start the show like how I always do. We're going to, on Substack, you'll see the images and get some background music. TikTok viewers, unfortunately, don't get that. So if you want to get a little bit more of an experience, head over to my Substack. Otherwise, you can still hear me and see me on TikTok, and I'm not going anywhere, TikTok fans, because, you're telling me you want me to stay, so you've been gifting me and liking my broadcast, so I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much over on TikTok. So for now, the image on your screen comes up. This is the dream's first breath. This is the fruit pyramid. This is how I summoned the universe to guide me to my destiny of becoming an author. Wielding the fruit pyramid is a call for help when you are unaware of what kind of help it is that you need. For me, one second here. For me, the call was answered by the powerful realization that suddenly manifested into reality when I finally found the mysterious dream that had been hidden from my true self for my whole life. I found my purpose, to be a writer. Join me for more about the fruit pyramid and other behind-the-scenes bits from my writing journey each week here on The Dream is True on TikTok and on Substack. Over on Substack, if you are joining me, that is great. Thanks so much for that. Hello, Albert, I see, has joined me over on Substack. That's so awesome. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the likes. And over on TikTok, I'm getting overwhelmed by you guys. That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all the likes. On to next, so that's the fruit pyramid. And now, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the graphics these are the graphics, if you're on Substack, for my newsletter and live show, which is right there. And it's weekly, and you're watching the live show portion of it right now. The newsletter dropped yesterday, every Wednesday. And over here is my graphic for the podcast. After the show is complete, there's a podcast portion that gets uploaded to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you listen to podcasts. So yeah, thanks so much. Wow, we got a whole bunch of action going over on TikTok. I really appreciate it. And over on Substack, awesome to see everyone. And yeah, let me know in the comments where you're from. That'd be awesome to know. Let's get on to the show. Yeah, we have a lot to cover today. So we start with, once again, I am MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, and the first next part of the show that we're coming to is kind of like I do a live reading from Cassius Canick's, my first novel, every single week. This is episode 29, so tonight I will be reading chapter 29. Last week's chapter was chapter 28, The Lost Coin, and I'm going to show you an image, if you're on Substack, of a graphic that's in the manuscript of Cassius Canick's, but none of these images got published in the actual book. And I'll just pop up an image of Cassius Canick's for you as well. So none of them got actually published in the book itself, but in the manuscript for my own self, I sort of selected drawings that would depict the beginning of each chapter. So this one is for chapter 28, which I read last week, called The Lost Coin. And there's just a bit of a behind-the-scenes bit for you to see that image. And here's a recap of last week's reading, chapter 28. In last week's chapter reading, a childhood memory is told to illustrate the early thoughts and dreams of Cass. Part of this memory was previously told, and the intent of this is to mislead the reader into thinking that Cass's memory of using a pick hammer to create a secret tunnel or pod is just a retelling of the memory from earlier on in the book. But at the end of the memory, when the mother calls for her son, she doesn't say Cass. Instead, she says Orion. This hints at the parallel between Cass and Orion, which will be explained and expanded upon in this upcoming chapter, chapter 29, which I'll be reading later on in the program for you. Next, the story shifts to the Canick's family missing Cass and wondering how he is doing on his trip. Melina expresses her confidence in Cass, and they are all happy that he is finally being recognized for the talent that they know he is. The story shifts back to the Germany pod, the main headquarters for the organization. Orion meets with Cass to brief him before the third training. In this meeting, Orion reveals to Cass that the purpose of the organization is him. that its origin is to satisfy the occupational needs and desires of both himself and Cass. Then Orion explains that the organization is not a secret government operation, but instead confirms that it is not legal by the world's definition of legal. Finally, Orion tells Cass of the organization's great powers in the form of advanced technologies, mind-reading capabilities, and time travel. Orion then reaffirms Cass's powerful ability to will anything he wants into existence. My next live reading from Cassius Canics is later on in the program, chapter 29, and I really hope you can stick around for that one. And now is the time when I kind of just go through an overview of my books for you guys. So yeah, MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author. Thanks for watching me on episode 29 of my show, The Dream is True. I really appreciate all the follows, all the likes, all of the forwards, and all of the subscribes. It's what keeps me going here, and it's super, super awesome. And let's see. Yeah, right on. So on to my books. First up, we have Cassius Canics. Cassius Canics is a sci-fi novel. It's a slow burn that turns into a raging fire and then teases for more. Buckle up. An ordinary man's life collapses after he is pursued by a powerful secret organization. The big question is, why him? He gradually comes to understand that he holds a mysterious, dormant power within. When an unimaginable tragedy strikes his family, he defies the fundamental laws of the universe and travels through time to restore things back to normal. With cutting-edge technology, supernatural animals, and even time travel, experience a seemingly simple man's journey to destiny and greatness. All right, next up, thank you everyone for joining. That's my first novel. Up next, my second novel, which is part 2 of the Cassius Canics trilogy, is The Fishing Trip. This is a horror sci-fi novel. This book is a prequel to the first, and it ends where book 1 starts. Super cool character backstories will have you longing for more. Buckle up extra tight for this one. A routine fishing getaway for 5 close friends turns into a nightmare when an apocalyptic cult drags them into unspeakable evil and despair. Their only hope, a powerful time traveler racing against fate to pull them back from the brink. All right, on to Equilibrium. 1 second here. Just having a look at some of the comments. Yeah. Okay. All right, so Equilibrium is the 3rd book in the trilogy. This is a horror and sci-fi novel as well. This book is a continuation of book 1 and ties into book 2's revelations for the finale. Yeah, hey Albert, Equilibrium, I haven't seen the movie, and I actually want to because I actually know about it. I saw it, came up on my streaming services, and I'm like, hey, I got to check that out. So will there be more to the story? Nothing can prepare you for Equilibrium. Brace yourself. Cassius Canics and the organization face their greatest threat yet, evil incarnate. An evil being named Dade is determined to rob Cassius of everything he's become. In a race against the destruction of the planet, he strives to restore balance. The fate of the world hangs on Cassius Canics finding his true power, a mysterious power called Equilibrium. Right on. Everyone over on TikTok, thanks so much for joining. And yeah, so I'll have to check out that movie, Equilibrium, for sure. I forgot to show you the picture on Substack of Equilibrium. There it is. And we're on to my next novel, which is The Muse. So The Muse is an occult horror novel. This book is inspired by the 80s slasher movie genre and Stephen King horror and even American Psycho a little bit. A depressed writer turns to a life of solitude as a trucker. He calls out for help on a Ouija board in a bid for inspiration. His call for help is answered by an ancient evil that promises genius but demands murder in return. As the body count climbs, only his twin sister can stop him before the Muse claims them both. But is it already too late? And that is The Muse. The books, yeah. So Albert over on Substack has asked where my books are all available on Amazon for sure. You can get them in ebook, paperback, or audiobook. For actually 4 out of 5 of my books are out on audiobooks as well. And next up, we have my 5th novel, which is called Hard Copy. This is a sci-fi alien invasion suspense thriller. This book is inspired by Gen X TV, 80s sci-fi, conspiracy theories, and modern AI. At a wild bush party in his teens, Ray Higgins was taken by aliens. Now in his 50s, separated and disappointed, he's assigned to mentor Tara, an AI robot. When the aliens return, Ray and Tara expose conspiracies, hidden horrors, and a lizard cult of deception in a gripping story of rediscovery and rebellion. Are you ready to question reality? Thank you so much for all the likes over there on TikTok, and thank you over on Substack. If you're just joining us, let me know where you're from in the comments, and I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, I had a review of Hard Copy that came in on July 8th. It's posted on Goodreads if you want to take a look at it. It's a 4-star review, which I was really happy with. So thank you so much for that. And on to the next segment. So yes, I am MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, and this is The Dream is True, my weekly show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on TikTok and Substack. And there's a newsletter every week as well on Wednesdays of the same kind of topics. So this is kind of like a live version of the newsletter for me. So it's kind of fun for me to go through it all with you. And then over to my books. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about, I guess, my upcoming, I have a upcoming vampire horror novel, which is basically in the editing process. It's been submitted to a publisher, and I'm just waiting to hear back from them, hoping to hear back anytime. If they reject this novel, I'll just be proceeding and publishing it myself on Amazon. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that, and very excited about that process. My other work in progress is I'm working on a short story collection, and it's horror and sci-fi short stories. I'm currently working on story number 14, which I expect to be the final story in the book. So yeah, this is a wild short story collection that will include horror and sci-fi stories. And my current plan is to hopefully release some of these short stories on my newsletter before I publish it, I was hoping to do that. So stay posted on that. I'll keep you posted. All right, next up, I had a book event. I went to Quality Creations on Canada Day, and I mentioned this last week in my live, but it only happened the day before my last live, so I didn't really have anything prepared. So yeah, I had a great time at this event. Here I did a post on Instagram and all the other places. Oh wait, now how did I just messed that up? Okay, let's put that back. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was my post that I did. Just like, for Canada Day themed, I just put my books on a big Canada flag on a bench outside, so that was fun. And that was, Quality Creations. And this was my table setup on July 1st. It was so hot. That was like really, I think it was the hottest day so far this year for us, but yeah. And I just wanted to, talk about, let's see, Set up next to my table was artisan Vic Desparat. Here's Vic, and this was an interesting event for me sitting beside Vic. I'll tell you a little bit about Vic. Vic makes cool stuff from wood, steel, leather, and bones. Yes, real bones. Vic is a unique artist. He told me he asked God how he could create art without having to buy supplies, and the idea of roadkill came to him in a flash of inspiration. Vic collects roadkill and then he guts them and lets them decay naturally until maggots completely consume all of the flesh. I'm not making this up. Then Vic takes the bones and makes art out of them. Vic told me about the time that he borrowed a gas mask off of a friend so that he could collect and gut a dead skunk. He said that the smell was so strong that the gas mask couldn't stop it. Another story Vic shared with me was the time he got a request to make a custom piece that he didn't really want to do at first. The customer wanted a cow's skull fitted with horns and mounted on a plaque. On the plaque background, the customer requested an upside-down pentagram complete with the inscription 666. Vic hesitated at first due to his religious beliefs, but then he decided to go through with it solely as an artistic piece. What Vic does, I think, is truly artistic and unique. It's not something I could do, and I did tell him that. I also told Vic that as a horror author, he may potentially inspire me to write a story loosely based on him one day. Except in my story, the bone artist would become dissatisfied with roadkill and instead begin to experiment with human bones. To get human bones, he may have to decide to murder for his materials. I enjoyed hanging out with Vic on Canada Day at this event. It's always so cool to meet new and unique artists. And before I left that day, I did leave some of my books, copies of my books behind. So if you're in the Prescott area, my books are now available at Quality Creations in Prescott. So that's super fun. And next up, we have the Bookish Spotlight. So each week, The Dream is True features a talented creative whose work leaves a lasting mark in the bookish world. This week, I welcome you, our Bookish Spotlight of the week, Kaylin Kelly, K. Kelly. So this is Kaylin Kelly, meet K. Kelly writes. Kaylin K. Kelly, she, her, is a queer Canadian independent poet who is deeply passionate about embarking on her inner child healing journey and sharing that story with the world. Kay is one of 8 siblings and is originally from Peterborough, Ontario, where she currently resides with her cat, Timbit. Kay published her debut poetry collection, Ashes Over Dust, in November of 2023 while living on her own in a quiet town called Isidore. I just showed an image there of Kay holding Ashes Over Dust. And I also have an image of Kay on the screen if you're over on Substack. And I'm popping up her next book for this next part. So since then, Kay has returned to her hometown, been busy dedicating herself to healing growth, tried her hand at a new to her style of poetry, haikus, and published her newest book, In the Heart of Hypagogia. And yeah, that's a cool word. I looked that up, and that's like this state where you get to this certain state, I think, where it's just before you're slipping into dream world. So you're not quite awake and you're not quite asleep, and it's kind of interesting. Kay creates a safe space for readers to explore their own personal emotional depths. Kay hopes to create a sense of community and companionship while creating the cultural awareness around the concept of the inner child. And now, I just wanted to show you, let's see. Yeah, so next I'm going to do a closer dive into Kaylin's books. So I'm going to show a picture of, let's get her first book up, Ashes Over Dust. So Ashes Over Dust, here's a book summary from Goodreads that I grabbed. Welcome to Ashes Over Dust, short poems written by Kay Kelly writes. This collection of poems came straight from the depths of her healing journey and first spiritual awakening. Full of reminders, lessons, and encouraging self-awareness, self-love, confidence, and development. Each poem was produced through a meditation practice. Sounds super fascinating. Kay's higher self speaks through Ashes Over Dust and motivated her to focus on personal growth and energetic healing. Life can be greatly demanding, draining, and lonely. Ashes Over Dust was released to promote quiet time, self-discovery, meaningful connections and conversations so we can collectively heal, protect our inner child, and transform together. Thank you to my local friends and family who are a huge part of this book's success. Get your uplifting copy today and experience the art that was created reflecting through Kay's personal healing journey. And if you go back to my, if you're on my Substack, on the newsletter, everything in there is clickable to Kay's books, that you can pick up a copy of Ashes Over Dust. It's funny when you said, I think Kay might be on TikTok listening in. So if you are, hello, Kay. So glad you could tune in for your spotlight. Just if you are there, I wanted to mention, it's interesting because I like how you said Kay's higher self speaks through Ashes Over Dust and motivated her to focus on personal growth and energetic healing. I have a little bit, it's a little bit of a similar experience that I went through with my first book, Cassius Canix, in that it's a parallel universe of my own life, and I used it too for healing purposes, which is a great thing for a writer to do. Next up, we're going to go over to another book by Kaylin. Let's get this cover up of Hypagogia. So Hypagogia is up. It's a really cool looking cover. In the Heart of Hypagogia is an anthology of haiku poems on sleep paralysis, sexuality, addictions, recovery, inner child healing, spirituality, and soul searching. Super deep. Check out Kaylin's books for sure, because they are just very deep and very artistic. So I'm going to read a book summary that I pulled from Amazon.ca on hypagogia. Kay Kelly writes, also author of her debut release Ashes Over Dust, has tried her hand at a new to her poetic form. Read how Kay regained her confidence, faith, and inner power through the vivid insights of her haikus. And this is a cool quote from Kay that I actually really liked. Our demons can only hold the power if we hand over the permission. Kay. Oh, that's powerful. I really like that. I have Kay's first book on my to be read list. I cannot wait to check out these poems. Sometimes we can easily be fooled by the devil on our shoulder. It can disguise themselves in wings as evil temptations. But if we can open our hearts and our eyes to our own truth, the light and power can be found, followed, and in our own possession. Take your control back over your shadow side and conquer your demons. Make them work for you. In the heart of hypagogia is a journey into the terrors of sleep paralysis, addictions, and recovery, honoring sexuality, finding faith, inner child healing, and a search for the true soul. Perfect for lovers of poetry. This collection invites readers to pause, reflect, and notice, and rediscover personal power. It sounds so fascinating. And thank you everyone for joining on TikTok and on Substack. I have one more snippet. I'll put Kay's image back up for 1 second, and I just wrote a little closure. Just a little snippet. I attended a book event with Kaylin on February 23rd, 2025 in Navan at Robert Plant Greenhouses. We didn't get to introduce ourselves to each other at this event in person, but I am glad we were able to later connect and interact on social media. I am so grateful to meet everyone in the author community, especially authors who evoke such positive vibes, which I felt to be super present in my interactions with Kaylin. Thank you, Kaylin, for being a part of my writing journey. The dream is true. Thank you so much. And that is the Bookish Spotlight. And yes, Kaylin is there. Oh, thanks. It's so awesome. I'm so glad that you got to catch it. Every week I try to present this as good as I can. And I have a lot of fun doing this. So yes, please, before I leave the Bookish Spotlight, please explore Kaylin's website, her Amazon link, and follow her on Instagram. I have all the links actually as buttons right in my newsletter, or you can head over to her website, and her website is I've got it here. It's on the newsletter. I don't have it right in front of me now, but Kaylin, feel free. You could put your if you want to comment with your website or anything you want, feel free to do that. That's so awesome. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being the Bookish Spotlight this week. And now on to the next segment in the show. So I am MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, and every week I do this show called The Dream is True. This is episode 29. Can you believe that? I'm so excited about that. I've come a long way since episode 1. The tech alone has become super advanced here because I'm broadcasting over OBS Studio on over to Substack, and it gets shot out all over the whole internet on as podcasts and as videos posted on my YouTube channel and on Substack, and then all these automated clips that get posted afterwards on TikTok and Instagram. It's truly a very exciting part of my journey. And yeah, and thanks, Kaylin, for the kind words in the comments over on TikTok. That's so nice of you. And on to the next section. So this is my section on movies, TV, music, and books. So movies, TV, music, and books are a massive influence on my writing. Each week, I share with you what I've watched, listened to, or read. Here's last week's consumption. So for my first movie, I finally got to see Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling, Sandra Hüller, and James Ortiz. It gets 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb. A science teacher wakes up alone on a spaceship. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing Earth's sun and realizes that unexpected friendship may be the key. So my take, here's my take on Project Hail Mary. This was a fun movie that I had high expectations for. Here's the basic premise. The planet is in trouble. An ordinary man is selected for a mission to find a solution. He meets an alien who is searching for the same solution to save their own planet. They work together and find a solution that saves both their planets. So I have seen movies with a similar plot to this, but it was unique in certain ways and definitely a lot of fun. Worth the watch. The alien is a fun, entertaining character, and the dynamics between human and alien was the best part about this movie, in my opinion. I enjoyed the references and shout-outs to other movies. So the ones that I noticed immediately were E.T., Rocky, Superman 2, and Predator. And apparently there were more that I was reading about that I didn't catch on my own. But yeah, there's tons of references. All in all, this checks all the boxes for a fun-filled watch on movie night. And that is Project Hail Mary. Next up, we have an oldie. Oh yeah, Swamp Thing starring Louis Jordan, Adrienne Barbeau, and Ray Wise. This is written and directed by the masterful Wes Craven. So yeah, it only gets a 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Not surprising. It's a bit of a specific niche genre for sure. Big cult following for this one. My take. Okay, so yeah, I have to read my take on this for you, and it's based on the cover artwork mostly, because the cover artwork for this movie is so ingrained in my mind. I remember seeing this image in comic books and studying it with great interest. This movie came out when I was 10 years old, and I never actually saw it until last week. I was scrolling through the list of classic movies on Tubi, and as soon as I saw this image, I smiled. It really takes me back to how I felt when I looked at it as a child. I watched the movie and really enjoyed it for the little gem that it is. Such a fun throwback to a time of innocence and untainted experiences. The special effects are deliciously cheesy and oh so fun. The swamp setting is so immersive and holds up on the film. So yeah, that's super fun. I watched another oldie that'll be in my next week's show that I can't wait to share with you. I think I'm getting on this kick of watching old movies now again. I do that from time to time. And how are we doing over on Substack? Hey Substack, say hello over on Substack if you're there. Next up, I watched the new stand-up Louis C.K. Ridiculous show, it's called. So it gets 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb. Louis C.K. shares absurd ideas from his mind from a bee being shot in New York City to hiring strangers to care for his elderly father. So here's my take. This is Louis C.K.'s first Netflix special since he was canceled back in 2017. Here's what happened. In 2017, the New York Times reported that 5 women accused Louis C.K. of masturbating in front of them or asking to do so. He admitted the stories were true the next day. Major networks, Netflix, and distributors immediately dropped him, canceled his projects, and shelved his film. So in 2026, in this 2026 Netflix special, Louis C.K., we watched it. My wife and I watched it. Louis C.K., in my opinion, puts on a masterclass show that demonstrates his place among the very best stand-up comedians in the industry. I have such a great respect and admiration for stand-up comedians, and I truly think it is the most difficult genre to excel at. And I watched this special with my wife, and it had us both laughing so hard that we had to pause it a few times to catch our breath. So yeah, that was that. And that's it for movies and TV. Now we are into music. Okay, I mean, it's no surprise to everyone. Anyone who knows me even a little bit knows that my favorite band is Iron Maiden. I have always been inspired and motivated by heavy metal and rock music. My favorite band is Iron Maiden. When I first started my writing journey, Iron Maiden was always playing in the background, and it still is today. I have always found the lyrics and sound of Maiden to be thought-provoking and inspirational. And I'm following along their tour. They're currently touring over in Europe now. So here's what they did last week. On July 2nd, they played in Vivero, Spain. On July 4th, they were in Cartagena, Spain. And on July 7th, they were in Lisbon, Portugal. And on the 11th, they were in Newborth, UK. And I have just a quick little image of some snippets of the show from Spain that was on July 4th. Iron Maiden headlined Rock Imperium Festival in Cartagena, Spain on July 4th, 2026 with a killer 2-hour set of 80s classics. Highlights included Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Number of the Beast with Flames, Power Slave with epic visuals, and Fear of the Dark with sing-alongs. Massive production and huge crowd energy made this a historic night for the festival. So yeah, that's my music section. On to books. My current read. So my current read is, I'm popping up a picture over on Substack. My current read is called The Weight of Snow by Saul Nudo. I'll read a little bit of the, I haven't started the book yet. I've just selected it. I'm probably going to read it this week, and it's a short book. So I'll probably have this in my show next week. Oh, what happened to our music? Stopped over on Substack. I'm going to get that going again. There we go. So if you want to read, just check it out. It's The Weight of Snow by Saul Nudo. I love this writer. I have read probably 8 books by him now. This will be my 8th maybe. But he's a fantastic writer. He's actually a journalist by trade. But he writes some really fun novels and short stories as well. And let's see. Yeah, we're into... Okay, so I am MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author, and this is my show, The Dream is True. It's every week, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's live on TikTok and Substack. And I thank you, everyone over on TikTok, for all the gifts that I've been receiving on TikTok. I'm definitely sticking around on TikTok because... you guys are really showing me that you're wanting me to stick around, so thank you so much for that. and also over on Substack. I'm just super appreciative for all of the subscribers. So I like to go through just a little brief, it's kind of like, it's a little section called MK Schultz's Book Sales, Writer's Tip, and Quirk. So I like to go through my kind of achievements and accomplishments for my own benefit of my writing journey, because it helps me progress and helps me realize my progression, and kind of keeps me moving and going forward in this, because this is my passion that I discovered through the wielding of the fruit pyramid. I hope you can stick around for the chapter reading. Today's chapter reading is actually very short. It's probably only going to take probably just over 10, a little over 10 minutes long. That's coming up shortly, but in this section, I'll go over some brief little sort of achievements that I'm super proud of in my journey. So I like to show this little world map that I have, because so far now I'm super pumped to realize and to learn that I've sold books in 8 different countries, and I just feel so happy about that. So far, Canada, USA, UK, India, France, Germany, Italy, and Australia. And so I'm really excited about that. So I always like to kind of mention that. And then, so here's some other little recent I like to call them baby step mini goal achievements. So Canada Day marks the halfway point of the year. On that day, I was so pumped to discover that I had officially surpassed my entire year of sales for 2025, making 2026 already my most successful year as an author. And so, I really thank everyone for this. It is, I keep telling myself, as you know, the dream is true. And that is what I am living right now. So I'm super pumped about it, to be sharing this with all of you. I've received gifts on my TikTok lives 5 weeks in a row now. So how cool is that? So TikTok is here to stay for me, because it's a great tool for discovery. Most people are in and out pretty quick, but it's just the massive amount of people that are that you get exposed to as an indie author. So I'm really, TikTok's a valuable resource in that regard. And then of course Substack is just the powerhouse for tools for writers, and newsletters, and getting your content out there on like pretty much every platform all at once. It can make it seem like you have a team of 10 people working for you. It's so amazing. So I've been really, really pumped about my Substack journey as well. My posts on TikTok are now reaching, some of them have reached close to 700 views, and that's a big number for me. So I'm super grateful for that as well. And then, I went through this last week, but I found this was such a fun one for me to discover. Amazon Author only displays the number of followers for you to see on your dashboard when you reach their minimum threshold of at least 20 followers. So all the years that I've, for about 8 or 9 years that I've been doing this now, I've always looked at Amazon Author and seen no number, because I didn't have 20 followers yet. But as of a couple weeks ago when I looked, I now have 20 followers on Amazon Author, and it's so cool for me to finally see a number there. So again, I'm so grateful for that as well. And thanks for all the comments. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you. Everything else is all on the newsletter. But here, these are my crazy little writer's tip and writer's quirk that I do each week. So writer's tip this week, okay, it is what it is. So here it goes. I'm going to read it out to you. This is great for other writers because it shows we just can sort of dip into each other's minds and maybe bask on some of the craziness that we all kind of have, because to be a writer, to be an artist, we are different. We are special people, I think. Unique for sure. So one thing I have learned just this year during the course of my writing journey is to tell people what you want from them. Asking for help and explaining how to help is imperative. Readers are readers, not mind readers. Here are some of the things that I am starting to ask from my readers and supporters. So I got a list of 5 things that I'm starting to honestly communicate more clearly with readers, because honestly, what I've kind of thought about is they don't know when someone comes to your table at an event, they don't know some of the troubles and struggles that you go through. So you basically tell them, talk to them, chat with them, and it actually it's been really quite a positive experience for me, because people are so generous and giving and supportive that I've been actually receiving gifts and support of my writing journey by just being more honest about it. So for number 1, I give out a free bookmark to anyone who buys one of my books. And on the back of the bookmark, I point out how it states there that the importance of reviews on Amazon and Goodreads for an indie author. So a lot of people don't realize, they buy your book and they think, they rightfully so, they're supporting you. But it's even like more powerful to leave a positive review on I'm just going to say at least on Goodreads and Amazon kind of, and there's many others as well, but for me those are the 2 that I focus on the most. It's just super powerful and super powerful. Number 2, when someone comes to my table at a book event, I not only try to sell them my books, but I also ask them to subscribe to my newsletter on Substack by leaving their email address with me. This simple act has already increased my Substack subscribers to, I actually got a couple more today. I'm up to 76 followers on Substack, and those are followers who actually don't mind getting emails from me each week. So, and many of them are people who have actually bought my books and like my books and are wanting to support me. So that's really powerful as an indie author. Telling readers that your books cost money to print makes them aware that your profits are slim. Let them know that their support is greatly needed and appreciated. Yes, some people don't realize it if you're not an indie author. I mean, it just doesn't really click sometimes for some people that you wrote the book and you didn't get it for free. It's not like an artist who is painting a painting. They still have to buy the paints and the brushes and the canvas, so it is kind of the same in that regard. But it's pretty expensive to publish a book on your own as an indie author. Most of it can be free if you're doing the artwork yourself and whatnot. But yeah, it's not a cheap process. Editing and proofreading are quite costly for sure. And on my live show, I'm trying to ask for help more. So that's another tip that I'm taking advantage of now, because by asking you guys on TikTok, you guys have been giving me gifts like every week now for 5 weeks. So that support is greatly appreciated. And I got my first paid subscriber on Substack. This person got a 1-year subscription to my newsletter and paid a year subscription to be, so in support of my writing journey. And I'm so grateful for that too. All right, that's a bit of that was a bit of a stretch for a writing tip. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'm on to my writer's quirk now. So this is a little section that I have a lot of fun with. I'm going to put an image up. The name of the image is Pooper Scooper, and I'll explain. So I finally got to cut my grass last weekend after the wave of heat and thunderstorms finally left. There is a lot of dog poo on my front lawn, so the first thing I did was walk around with my pooper scooper and a bucket to collect as much as I could to avoid driving over it with the lawn tractor. And As I started cutting the grass, I noticed that I missed some in more than one location. So I got my pooper scooper and carried it while I drove on the lawn tractor. So it was a bit awkward, steering with one hand and holding a pooper scooper in another hand. And then I had to stop every time I would see a new poop in order not to drive over it with the wheels. Suddenly, I looked to the rear of the lawn tractor and began to experience deja vu as I stared at the 2 slots in the metal bracket. The purpose of these slots is to receive a metal bar and weights for traction in the winter when the tractor is converted to a snowblower. But I felt compelled to see if the slots would receive the pooper scooper. And when I tried, it was a perfect fit. I laughed out loud and decided to stop and take a photo for the Writer's Quirk section of my newsletter. And you'll see in the photo, like, this is unbelievable. It's a pooper scooper that fits like it's meant, like it was designed to fit perfectly in the back of the lawn tractor. And so I didn't have to carry it around. I could just like put it there without getting off the lawn tractor and then pick it up, scoop some more poop and carry it away on the lawn tractor. It was great. After I took the photo, I looked up and saw that my wife was watching what I was doing while she was taking one of the dogs out for a pee. As soon as I saw her, the deja vu returned. The whole thing felt like it had happened before. And as I continued to cut the grass with easy access to my pooper scooper, I just kept thinking about how this experience could trigger another story idea. So that's how it works for me. I do come up with story ideas out of nowhere, out of weird little experiences that many people would not think to write about. But yes, finding a unsuspecting holder for your pooper scooper on your lawn tractor was kind of a big deal for me that day, and it brought on a deja vu for me. So I thought that was hilarious, and I just had a good laugh at myself as I continued with my headphones, which were playing Iron Maiden on. I just continued to think about it. So that is my writer's quirk. Each week I bring you a writer's quirk that are exactly that. So I hope you enjoy those. I'm going to take a little drink of my water. Oh yeah, we're getting close to the reading. I usually go no later than 8:15. Sometimes I've gone later, but that's when other people joined kind of last minute and I stuck around. So on to food and health. So this is an important section for me. As an author, it is important to keep my brain and body healthy so that I can continue to churn out horrific scenes of violence and thought-provoking and chilling sci-fi. Side projects around the house. Oh, I just have to do a little thing here. Okay. Side projects around the house provide good mental health outlets for meditating, brainstorming, and thinking about stories. Last week, I cut the grass, cut some firewood, and cleaned my pool. My goal in 2026 is to care for my mental and physical health. So yes, I'm on a calorie deficit weight loss program. I'm just doing myself with my Fitbit. So far I've lost 36 pounds this year, which I'm super excited about. And my treadmill got an upgrade last week with the install of a TV. So I wanted to put something on that I didn't really need to pay much attention to. So I put on Jurassic Park because I've seen it a million times, and I thought it would just be something nice to have on in the background to keep me company. And I just put an image up here, and this is Chaga, my dog. So I had to laugh as Chaga was at it again. For those of you who missed my previous post about Chaga, he is a puppy with an old soul, and he loves watching TV. His eyes were really glued to the screen when the brachiosauruses came on. And it's true. Like, it was so hilarious. Look at, like, for those of you on Substack, like, look at this. He's a puppy, yet he looks like he has an old soul. He's, there's something really special about him. And then there's my TV setup with Jurassic Park on over top of my treadmill on a little shelf, which was super fun. And there's Chaga on the floor watching the TV intently. And okay, on to food. So each weekend I have what I call cheat meals. During the other 5 days of the week, I have a very strict regimen of exercise and diet. And then I give myself a little break on Fridays and Saturdays with my cheat meals. So I'm gonna show you. This is my sub collage. So first up was my epic sub. I started by pounding boneless, skinless chicken breast until they are uniform in thickness. Then I rub them with olive oil and season them with paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, pepper, salt, and Cajun spice on both sides. Then I grill them for 4 minutes on each side and then cut them into strips to use in a fully loaded sub with lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, jalapeno peppers, yellow sweet peppers, hot sauce, garlic parmesan sauce, fire roasted tomato chipotle sauce, and melted jalapeno cheese. The final stage is to wrap them up snug in tinfoil and warm them up for 10 minutes in the oven. Oh yeah, that was epic. It was like my most epic sub that I've ever made, I think. Next up is my burger collage. Oh yes, this was my smashed jalapeno cheeseburgers with lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, ketchup, and mustard, served with a side of shoestring air-fried French fries. And oh my God, these meals were oh so satisfying. That's it, guys. That's it for my food. We're getting into an exciting part of the live. We're at right around 8 o'clock, which is about the perfect time that I love starting this. So we're going to do the live reading. And guys, this is super exciting. It's a super exciting development in the the journey of my live show here, because one of the viewers had a great comment for me of feedback and suggested that if when I'm doing the reading to set the mood more dramatic, because the readings are very dramatic sometimes. So what I'm going to do right now for you on Substack, I am cutting the music. So we are no music, and we're also going to adjust the lighting. So I'm just going to do that now, and then we're going to begin our reading of chapter 29. So please stick around for this. You're not going to want to miss this. And it's not that long of a chapter, so don't worry about it. Here we go. I'm just going to turn the lights off and get set up. Oh yeah, I like this. This is super effective. And in order to do it, though, the lights are off, right? So I came up with this problem. I can't see the pages at all. So I have this little light, which is in the shape of a flying saucer. And yeah, boom, it lights up my pages for me. So without further ado, here we go. Chapter 29, Game Changer. And this is from Cassius Canix, by the way. I'm going to put just for the Substack people, I'm going to put the cover up as well. And for the video, that'll actually look really cool. Chapter 29, Game Changer. Before the third training would even begin, Cass knew it would be a game changer. It was inevitable. Upon completing the meeting in the lobby with Orion, the very strange meeting that gave him a glimpse of what was yet to come. The large treasure chest embossed door began to rumble and shake with a deep hum sound. As he drew closer to the door and began to see what was within, he became confused at what he saw. Upon entering the room, just like the other two doors did, this one too closed with a tight, loud, metallic sound. The sight of the room was like a fantasy. It consisted of an aquarium-type theme with deep blue walls of water appearing everywhere within the room. The sound to be heard were that of flowing water, rain, and wind. At the center of the room was the cot. Cass wondered if it was the same one and they just relocated it. The aquarium walls wrapped around the entire room like a giant double-walled cylinder. These same walls continued to form a double-walled lid, completely making all walls and ceiling one immense window to an aquarium. At the location of the cot, a 10-foot by 10-foot extrusion boxed out in the shape of a large suspended bulkhead dropped down to within 20 inches above the cot. What the hell? Cass thought. What the hell is in there? At a closer examination of the walls of the aquarium, he noticed an opening in one corner. It was set up a few feet higher than the rest of the aquarium and consisted of a ledge which connected to various catwalks along the walls of the aquarium. There was also a catwalk that ran right past the cot where his head would be if he laid down on it. Okay, this is just freaking creepy, he thought. What was the meaning of this? He began to slowly pace around the room while peering around to discover if anything existed within the water-filled walls and ceiling of the aquarium. After scouring the entire room for what seemed like an hour, he began to wonder if anything was there. At this, the voice of Orion was patched in through a speaker system. I'll try to give you some commentary on the chapter too, as I like to do always throughout the book reading. So I'll stop after this next tiny little section here, just to address something that I wanted to explain. Cassius Canax, Cassius Canax, Cassius Canax. Yes, so his name is said 3 times. That goes along with the ongoing theme of the number 3, one of the numbers that's prominent in the Cassius Canax trilogy, which is also 3. At this point in the story, Cass's journey is all to his destiny is almost realized, and so this is almost like a revelation type epiphany statement by saying his name so dramatically 3 times in a row like that. That was the intent when I penned this, to make this dramatic feel. So I'll continue on here. You are almost there, my friend. This is the final training. The training that will show you much. I will begin by enlightening you with some more information to further complement what you've already learned in our meeting just prior to this. After that, I will reintroduce you to a very important being to the organization. This being will take you on your last leg of the training, culminating in an epiphany to show you yourself and who you really are. For you are Cassius Canix, and soon you will know this. As it was previously disclosed to you, a large part of the organization is its ability to read the thoughts of others. A sort of wiretapping of the brain, if you will. Couple this with the ability to time travel and to do the same at any moment, and you have a method to collect information more valuable than any other source could ever achieve. Through this ability, the organization has become very wealthy and, as such, has been afforded the means to utilize technologies to further its cause. Its cause, as previously stated, is you and I. We had to do something in this world, some occupation. This is what has fallen into our laps. This is what you are a part of, Cassius Canix. Have you ever wondered about all of the past memories you often find yourself thinking of? Or the dreams? What is the meaning of them? Or how about your OCD behavior? I mean, come on, Cassius Canix. Why did you ritualistically hold that fruit pyramid in front of you day in and day out at your old job that you so hated? Like a call for help, you did this. This was the beginning of your contact with me. This was the beginning of your change to will and how you willed it to be. For willing things to be is what we can do, Cassius Canix. And that is the third and greatest power that the organization has. For with it, anything is possible. Anything is achievable. With this power, we do many things. Sometimes we right wrongs in the world, and sometimes we simply just enjoy prosperity and happiness. But ultimately, Cassius Canix, we take care of those we love. Melina, Lydia, Lance are all we have in this world now. Their survival is paramount to the organization. Enjoying life is paramount to the organization. Although our existence is mostly hidden, there are some who know of us, and this knowledge has from time to time brought about conflict. Through the creation of the pods at various locales across the globe, the organization can flourish in secret. Your new pod will become a very special thing to you in your daily occupation. It will give you contentment with accomplishment and success in order to provide a vehicle for your happiness with friends and family. For in the past, work has always been the source of your pain and discontentment. This is changing. This has changed. Welcome, Cassius Canix. Now the next leg of your journey is beginning. At this time, Cassius Canix, it is my great pleasure to reintroduce you to someone. Suddenly, at that very moment, a very large pink-fleshed octopus appeared gracefully, gliding across the wall of the aquarium, arms flailing and sweeping about as each short burst swept it along and about. Cassius Canix, meet Aquarius. It is through Aquarius that you will become enlightened, and you will experience your epiphany. The octopus is an amazing creature, Cassius Canix, with the largest brain of any invertebrate. It is a creature that humanity has not even began to scratch the surface of understanding of the potential that resides in it. The average brain has 100 million neurons, while the octopus has 130 million. It is perhaps even more astonishing that 60% of the neurons reside in the arms of the octopus, while only 40% reside in its brain. Each arm of the octopus has a mind of its own, or so to say. If an octopus arm is cut off, the arm will still wander and grab at food as it did while it was still attached. It is among the most intelligent and behaviorally diverse creatures of all invertebrates. You have much in common with Aquarius, Cassius Canix. You are like one of the arms that have been cut off of the octopus, and you, in the form of this wandering arm, have been aimlessly running amok in your life, feeling unfulfilled and purposeless. We have something in common as well, Cassius Canix, for I too am one of the arms of the great octopus. Perhaps an even more accurate way to look at it is this. The organization is the octopus brain, which functions at 40% with either of us at the helm. I am two arms of the octopus, which make up an additional 15%. This means that with me alone functioning at the head, the organization is operating at 55% power. You, Cassius Canix, are 6 legs. The remaining 45%. You are a larger part that has been cut off, but is now returning to bring the organization to 100%, a level that has not existed for quite some time. And since you and I are the legs that make up one part, that means we together are one. We were separated, but by your will, we are now reunited. For Orion is Cassius Canix, and Cassius Canix is Orion. And together, we are one. All right, guys. That was intense. I'm going to put the lights back on. We have to unpack this for a few minutes before we end this live. Yeah, you can tell by my my passion when I read that. It's quite meaningful to me because, like I said, like I've told you all along in the journey, I mean, if you look behind me, you'll see on Substack right there, and on TikTok right there, you'll see a framed picture behind me of the fruit pyramid. That is actually a true story from my life of wielding the fruit pyramid as a call for help at a workplace that I needed to escape from my entire life. It's when doing what you were not meant to do your entire life, it becomes eventually something that can't happen any longer. And for me, discovering and pursuing my passion of being a writer has freed me in this world. And as I read that chapter, literally everything I've been writing in that chapter about Cassius is parallel to what was happening in my own life. So that's what's so cool about the Cassius Canics trilogy. It's packed with awesome fiction, but based on destiny and reality in my own life. And so I'm really just happy to share it with you as part of the journey. And we are over time right now, so I thank you so much for that. I'm just looking back at the comments. Anybody have any questions or anything? Just let me know. I'd be happy to. I love all the positives. Kaylin has like all these positive comments. Thank you so much for that. That really means a lot. I love positivity. I flee negativity, and I try to go towards positivity, because that's part of my dream and part of my journey in this world of living my passion as becoming a writer full time. Currently, I'm living the dream. And so I mean, I'm gonna hang around for I'm gonna start my closeout now. But if you have any questions, let me know over on Substack or here on TikTok. I am MK Schultz, horror sci-fi author. Every week I have this show called The Dream Is True. It's Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on TikTok and Substack. Right now, I will go through my closing. As an indie author, it is my dream to write full-time. Currently, I am living this dream. That is why I say the dream is true. In order to sustain this dream, I depend on your support. Here are some great ways to support my writing journey so that I can continue to publish more books. Please buy my ebooks, softcover books, and audiobooks online or at in-live person events. And the link is my link tree is everywhere in my bio. It has all of my links to all of my socials, everything, all my books, everything that is possibly MK is in my link tree. Post book reviews on Goodreads and Amazon. That really helps me a lot. It helps indie authors a lot. So please continue to do that. Support me on Ko-fi by buying me a coffee or tipping me. And the link is also in my link tree for that. Support me on Substack through a paid subscription. I have only one paid subscriber so far on Substack. And I mean, I desperately want to get a few more paid subscribers so that I can start rolling out some content only for paid subscribers, because I want the paid subscribers to have a little bit of extra bells and whistles. So I'm really working on that behind the scenes, possibly to deliver maybe chapters of my upcoming short story collection by posting that only to paid subscribers. I'm working on a lot of stuff in the background. Please continue to support me on TikTok Live with gifts. That's been happening every week for the past 5 weeks in a row, and I'm super grateful for that. Please support me on social media by liking, commenting, and sharing. I am most active on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and X. Please subscribe to the podcast version of The Dream is True, where you can listen to the podcasts. You don't get the video on those, but you can have the video if you go to my Substack account. The whole videos for this show and every other one is posted there, and also on my YouTube channel. And my links are all in there. Join me next week, and Is there any? Okay. Oh, we have a. Oh, Kaylin, thanks for the question. I really appreciate it. So the next, yeah. What's my next? Yeah. Anything in the works? Yes. Okay. So I have two things current. I have two works in progress. I have a vampire horror novel that I have completed, and it has ran through the first set of editing, and I've submitted it to ECW Press, an actual traditional publisher, and I upon invite from them, because I got the opportunity to pitch the novel to them when I attended the DreadCon horror and dark fiction convention in Burlington last September. So they are currently reviewing it. If they reject it, I'm going to be publishing it anyways myself on Amazon, of course. But if they accept it, it will be yet another stage, another step in my journey of being an author and living my dream full-time as an author. I'm also working on a short story collection of horror and sci-fi short stories. It's almost finished. I'm actually working on story number 14, which is going to be the last one. So if all is said and done, I potentially could have 2 additional books in 2026 before year end coming out. That's what I'm aiming for. Thank you so much for that question. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else otherwise we're gonna close her down with the phrase. The phrase is how I close it down every time. So let's see. Looking forward to all. Oh, thank you. And likewise, Kaylin, I can't wait to check out your poetry and your books. I'm super fascinated. It sounds very artistic. I'm very into the artistic expression, which you seem to be very strong with. That's super cool. So thank you so much. And if there isn't anything else, I'm going to close down. So in closing, I now recite the phrase that I heard first on the song Dream of Mirrors by Iron Maiden. It is a phrase that inspires me, and I want to share it with all of you. If you have a dream, don't just say, I hope my dream comes true one day. Instead, say this out loud every single day. The dream is true. All right. So thank you so much. And goodbye, everyone. Good night. Have a great night. And we'll see you next week on The Dream is True. I can't wait. Thanks so much. It was a pleasure. I have so much fun. We'll see you next week. All right. Bye now, guys.